Hello, Instagram, and hello, Facebook. How are you all doing? Welcome to my fourth career coaching drop-in session. I'm very happy to be here again, and I'm excited and waiting for you all to join in and listen to what we will be talking about today. So, first of all, I need to apologize. Last time when I streamed something, it didn't work on Facebook. So what I simply did, I shared the video that I was doing at the same time on Instagram with Facebook. Hopefully this will work today. And let me know in the comments if you can see me properly and if you can hear me. All right. And then I would like to apologize because I missed the 3 past sessions. And that was due to there were 3 huge storms each week here in Germany, and I had some health issues that I was struggling with. So I suffer from migraines, and I'm working on this part and trying to meditate and make my life a little bit better. But yeah, just sometimes it knocks me out, and that's why I wasn't here. However, I was very busy and working for you and with you and trying to help you all find a job in Germany. And there are some people joining in. Let me just wave to them very quickly. Hello. It's very nice to see you. Okay. Yes. So it's already March. Wow. The time is flying by this year, isn't it? So let me know, what are you doing this month? Are there any special occurrences, special events, job interviews maybe that you are joining in and trying to reach a new job for yourself? You can also let me know in the comments what your current situation is. I would really like to know whether you are happy with your job or you're unsure whether you're happy or not, and whether you would like to find a new job, and particularly if you're looking for a job in Germany, because my name is Lisa and I am Job Coach Germany. That means I'm here for you to find a job in Germany. And what I can help you with is basically looking for the jobs online or looking for jobs with companies, and then trying to prepare your documentation for the cover letter, for your CV. And there are more people joining in. Hello. Let me just wave to you all. It's very nice to see that some people are joining in and listening to me. And yes, so let me know, what are you currently doing? Are you happy with your job? And what is it exactly that makes you happy with your job? And then if you're not happy with your job, also let me know in the comments why you're not happy with your job. And maybe we can find a solution with what you would be happy. And yeah, basically what kind of job you're looking for. Is it a better economic situation in a different country? It doesn't really have to be Germany. You don't have to find a job in Germany. I'm just an expert for the German market and the industry and what it means to apply for jobs in Germany, especially with classic, old school, large scale companies. That is because I have been working with them for over 8 years and know exactly what they're looking for when they are screening your application documents. Oh, hello. Somebody special is joining in as well. Good morning. Yes, so let me quickly explain whether this drop-in session, this career coaching drop-in session, is right for you or not. So it is right for you if you are unhappy with your job, if you are struggling with finding a job, if you want to change your career, or if you are unsure what it actually is that makes you happy with your career. And then also if you need help and support with your documents. And also if you need help and support with job interviews, because this is something that I offer as well. I do mock job interviews. Oh, hello, more people joining in. This is so cool. Hi. Yeah, you can talk to each other as well if you want. Good morning. All right. And and just to simply explain what I'm not here doing. So you are not right in this online career coaching drop-in session if you are expecting me to find the job for you. So I will help you with, and I can support you with tools that you can use to find the job, but I'm definitely not a person that is contacting the company for you so you can get the job. Also, you're not right here if you're thinking that I'm working on a commission basis, because this is something that I've been asked by a couple of you, and this is definitely something that I don't offer. So if there are consultancies that are currently in your country, or you have contacted consultancies in Germany or in Europe anywhere because you want to find a job here, then those people will work on a commission basis, but this is definitely not what I'm doing. I'm not a consultant in that way that I'm contacting the company for you to help you with my network. I will help you with my network in the case of the knowledge that I've gained at working with these companies, but I'm not making the direct way basically to the company. This is something that you need to work on, but I will give you all of the tools and tips and tricks that you will need in order to land the job of your dreams. All right, so so let me have a look what we are talking about today. First of all, I would like to know what you're struggling with right now. So is it maybe the cover letter? Is it the CV? Or is it even knowing where to look for a proper job? Because sometimes this can be difficult because the titles of the jobs are different in Germany, obviously, than in your home country maybe. Something that is very important when you're applying in Germany or in Europe in general, that is the application documents that are in a European style, or basically in a German style. And this is something that I would like to talk to you about today. We will look at whether you should go for a classic style CV or a modern style, or also called fancy CV. So first of all, I would like to share all of the information with you that is important that you need to include in your CV. And for that, I have prepared a little something here for you. So this is a classic table style CV. I just wanted to share this with you because this is my old CV from probably 10 years ago or something like that. And the data that is important for you to include are, first of all, personal data, such as your name, your address, and your contact details, which means your mobile phone number and your email address. Then you need to include your birthday and the place where you've been born. And then also something that I always recommend internationals to include is your nationality, because that shows the company whether they are, whether they need to organize a visa for you or not. So for Europeans, it's easy. You can just simply come to Germany and work here. But when you're from outside of the EU, you need a visa to work here. And there are several visas that will be discussed in a different career coaching drop-in session. But this is something that is important for the company, basically, to know whether they need to organize a visa for you. Which is also very helpful for you to know, because that means you don't have to worry about that. Normally, the company will take care of that, okay? So if you really want to find a job in Germany, then you can talk to the company. And once you've landed the job, they will make sure that you get the right visa that you need. But it's definitely an optional information that you can give. You don't have to put your nationality, okay? So the basic things that you need to include in the personal data is your name, your address, and your contact details, as well as the place where you've been born and the date when you've been born. Okay, then the next step that we can look at, or that you can include into your CV, is the academic background that you have. So basically, where did you go to school, or what kind of internship have you done in relation or related to schools. This is something that is very important when it comes to Germany, because I don't know whether you've heard about the duale Berufsausbildung. So it's like a two-way or dual way of internships where you go to school and you work at the same time. This is something that I will discuss in more detail in a different session as well. But this can be included. Then also, have you been in a school abroad somewhere? This is something that you can include. But what is most important, and something that I recommend to everyone, is include the highest degree that you have. Okay? If that is a high school degree, okay, fine, you insert your high school degree. If that is a Bachelor of Arts, a Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Engineering, or anything like that, you include your bachelor's. If you have a master's, I would always include the bachelor's and the master's, okay, so that they can see, okay, is that a career path that fits to the company? Is that a career path that fits to the department and the position this person is applying for? And but the minimum that you need to include is your highest degree. Okay, so if that means you have a master's degree, then you insert the master's degree into the academic background. Something that you need to think about is writing the title of your study program or the title of your internship. Or apprenticeship rather. It's an apprenticeship, not an internship. And then you write where you've done that. So where have you studied? Basically the title of the university and the place where you've studied. And then also you can, or you might include the grades that you've had, or the average of your degree. Yeah, you don't have to do that, but the minimum would be the title, what you've studied, the university name where you've studied, and then also the place where you've studied. Because obviously universities can be very large, and then they have several places where they offer their degrees, and just to make them not be confused, I recommend write down the place where you have studied. Okay, so that's it for the academic background. The next part would be your work experience, yeah? So the work background that you have, where have you worked? And with that, it can be very little information that you can give, or it can be a huge amount of information that you might give. Because okay, just waving real quick because there are more people joining in here. Hello. Okay, so with regards to the CV in general, I'd say the less or the as little information as possible and as much information as you have to give, okay? Because you are very limited with your CV. So Steve Jobs only had one page CV. And this is something that we all should strive for. But the normal CV size would be 2 pages and not more. The only academic position, or the only positions that I would that are accepted to have more than 2 pages are, for example, professors and people that are working in the academic niche, because they write down also the titles of books that they've written and the studies they have researched and so on. But for a classic job, just go for 1 or 2 pages. So, and with regards to all of the work experience that you have, I recommend go for all of the information that are needed and necessary for the position that you're applying for now. So that means if you have done, for example, with me, it was always like that. I wanted to work in the HR department, and but I had done an internship at the hospital, because back in the day I thought I would want to be a doctor and help patients. After the internship at the hospital, I knew, no, this is definitely something that I don't want to do. And this is something that I don't include into my CV anymore, okay? First of all, because the internship was only 2 weeks. And then the second part is it has nothing to do with the positions that I've been applying for. So you can include as much as you think is necessary for the current position that you're applying for, as long as you can explain why you think this is helpful. So you don't only send your CV, but you also send your cover letter, right? And in the cover letter, you might as well explain the different stages of your work experience and what you've gained during those experiences. So have you, for example, worked in teams, or did you have to do the customer service on the phone all the time, and things like that. And if you can connect these to your work experience stages, that's well done, okay? Because this is what we're striving for. This is the ultimate goal. And with regards to your regards to your work experience, it's also always important to put in the dates. So the year and the month. This is the minimum that you have to send. More ideal would even be the day when you started and the day when you ended, but the minimum would be the year and the month. And then you include again the company name and the place where you have worked. And then you include the title of your job that you were doing at that time. Okay. Some CVs are extended, and then you explain all of the different tasks that you've done. Simply wave here again. Hello. It's good to see you. Thank you very much for joining in. And so some CV templates show you that you can write down the different tasks that you've done, but that is not very helpful, because it just takes up place, right? It takes up space. I mean, it takes up space in your CV, and this is something that is definitely being asked during the job interview. So you can explain what your tasks were during the job interview. But the minimum that you should include for the work experience stages is the dates, the name of the company, the place where you've worked for that particular company, and then also the title of your job. Okay? So, and then with that, and also with the academic background, you go with the current position first, and then you go back in time. Okay? So start with the latest, and then you go back in time. Okay. And then something else that you might want to include are private activities. So this is something that I normally include on page number 2. And this is something like voluntary commitment, or just special certificates that I've gained with special projects that I've done. And it could also include something that you've been abroad, and you've either worked abroad or you have studied abroad and things like that, or just simply projects that you've done during the time when you were not working or when you didn't study. Yeah, that could mean that you've done a particular seminar on body language, or a seminar on communication or negotiation skills, things like that. Those can go into your private background, basically. And for that, it's important to include again the dates when you've done that. So the year and the month when you started and when you ended. Then the project name and the place where you've done that, and then also the title, if you can classify what it was, what you were doing there. Okay, and then you could also include, if you, for example, gained a certificate, then you can write in brackets what kind of certificate that is and which stage of the certificate you've actually reached. And then something that is very important that needs to be included are your skills. And for that, we need all of the language skills that we have. So what is our mother tongue? Then what is our second language? What's our third language? And so on. And for that, it's important that you write down the language, and then you write down at what level you can speak this language, okay? In my Facebook group, I can share some documents where it actually classifies the different stages that you can have, because we differentiate between gut in Wort und Schrift, which means it's good in writing and speaking. Then also it's fließend in Wort und Schrift, which means you're fluent in writing and speaking. And then the third thing would be that something that we call verhandlungssicher. And verhandlungssicher basically means that you can negotiate on a work level, yeah, and that you feel comfortable negotiating in that particular language. So this is something that you need to include into the language skills. Then you need something that we call EDV skills. That's basically all of the electronic skills that you have. So what kind of, do you know how to work with Microsoft Office, and particular PowerPoint, Word, and Excel, or even Microsoft Project and things like that? These are the things that you can include. Or also, because I know that there are a lot of IT professionals that are applying for jobs in Germany, it is important to include the programming languages that you speak. Yeah, is it Java or something like that? This is something that goes into that part. Then you could include something that has to do with your private life again, such as, oh, hello, there are more people joining in. It's so nice to see you. Hello, thanks for joining in. Something that I call like arts and crafts. So if you have participated or worked with a music school, for example, and you've learned an instrument or something like that, if that is important for your admired job, also include that into your CV. And then something that is very important in Germany as well to include is the driving license that you have. Yeah, so first of all, do you have a driver's license? And then what kind of driver's license do you have? Because it doesn't really matter whether it's an office job or not. Sometimes you have to run errands, and for that part you need a driving license, right? And in bigger cities such as Berlin, Munich, Leipzig as well, Cologne, or Hanover, Hamburg, Stuttgart, everything is well connected. You can always use the public transport, but writing the driver's license that you have into your CV is definitely a huge plus. And then the last but not least part in your CV that you definitely have to include is or are your hobbies. And for that, I always recommend to write down 3 hobbies. 2 things that you can do on your own and 1 thing that you can do in a team, okay? Because that shows the company or the potential employer that you can not only work in a team, but you can also concentrate when you're on your own. And don't just write some artificial answers like, oh, I like to read or something. Yeah, that is boring. Nobody wants to read that. You need to include what kind of books do you like to read? Is that historic novels? Or is that something like, I like to read personal development books and stuff like that, okay? Because this also shows the company what kind of person you are. And the hobbies are the best part to get a feeling for you, okay? Okay, so thank you very much for waving to me and saying hi, and yeah, and of course I just mentioned Leipzig because I know that you're there. Yeah, so okay. So these are the basic information that I wanted to give you that you need to include in your CV. And now let's talk about whether you need a classic style CV, which means a table format. That means on the left-hand side, you normally write the dates. And on the right-hand side, you normally write all of the information like the company name, the place where you've worked, and the title, what you've done. Or for the academic part, on the left side you write the dates when you have studied, and on the right hand side you write the institution where you've learned, then the place where you have learned, and also maybe something that you, and the study program that you've studied, and so on. Yeah, so this is the table style CV. This is for people that are very straightforward and simply want to include all of the information onto 1 or 2 pages, and are a very normally a very organized person and don't want to worry too much about the design. Okay, and this is always something that I recommend for everyone to do. Go for the table style CV, because there's nothing that you can do wrong with that. And classic style CVs are accepted everywhere, with large scale companies that have been in the industry for 50 or more years, or even with startups. Yeah, there's nothing that you can do wrong with that. But if you decide to go for a modern style CV, this is something where you normally have a little text about yourself on the top. It looks like a resume. Yeah, you have a little text on the top, and then you write in columns somehow on the left or on the right, or even on the bottom, and with little dots, your skills that you have. So everything that I've talked about that you need to include with regards to your language skills and your electronic devices skills, or your software skills that you have, this is something that you would include into those columns with little dots. The little dots are normally from 1 to 10, and then you can decide whether you have like medium range knowledge or you have proficiency. Then you can, basically draw the little dots with a different color, and then the company knows, okay, so he's 80% sure of that language, or she is 50% into the topic of Excel or something like that. And with a modern style CV, it is important to know the colors that you're choosing, so you need to be very careful with that. Something that I can recommend is look at the colors of the company that you're applying for, so the CI, the corporate identity colors, and use them for your CV. Yeah, this is something that I can always tell you. Then there are a lot of templates out there that you can use, and they can be very confusing. So go with something that is in your eyes fancy, but you can still relate to it. Yeah, you need to feel comfortable with your application. Once you've prepared your CV, I want you to have the feeling, yes, I will get that job. I have prepared my CV very well. I've included all of the information that is important for the position that I'm applying for, and I'm convinced that I have done everything in order to be invited to the interview. And what happens then is not in your business anymore, okay? But I want you to have the confidence to apply with documents that you feel comfortable with. So if that means you don't want to go for any modern styles, CV styles, that's totally fine. Then go for the classic table style CV, okay? That is fine as well. So you don't need to worry about that. Be careful with the colors, and also be careful with modern style CVs with regards to all of the information that might be included on one page. That can be very much, and it could cause the recruiter to look at it and say, oh, that is way too much information on one page. I don't really want to take a look at that, and then it will be slid off the table basically, and they don't look at it anymore. So there, for the modern style CV, it is important, again, use as little information as possible and as much as necessary, okay? So what I can offer you is that I have shared in my in the Facebook group already, on Facebook, on the Facebook Live, I've shared my private Facebook group that you can join. It's Insights of Job Coach Germany, and I will share it on my Instagram as well. And I would highly recommend and invite you all and welcome you into the group so that you can get more information and all of the things that I'm talking about. Like I will share a template for a classic style CV. I will share a template for a modern style CV. Then also I will share the overview of the language skills that I've talked about earlier. And then also if you have any questions, feel free to ask them here in the comments or simply in the group. And then I'm more than happy to help you out with all of the documents and templates that I have in order for you to land your dream job. All right. So I hope it was a little bit more clear for you to differentiate between a modern style CV and a classic table style CV. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'm more than happy to see you all again next week. Thank you very much for joining in, and I wish you a wonderful week. Bye bye.